Repeat after me. I am somebody.
I am somebody.
I can't hear you. I am somebody.
I am somebody.
I am a king.
I am a king.
I have self-worth.
I have self-worth.
If it is to be, it is up to me.
My name is Cameron Miles, and I'm the director of Mentoring Male Teens in the Hood. This is our 23rd year. I've been the founder and director of this great program, Mentoring Male Teens in the Hood. Conditions on the streets of Baltimore are presently at a critical stage, and opportunities for our 8 through 18-year-olds are scarce. We're trying to do everything we can to put positive role models in front of our kings and take them on cultural enrichment trips, have tutoring, and this year for the first time a STEM camp. It's also important to help our young men to get out of Baltimore. Each June we travel along the eastern seaboard in pursuit of educational, cultural, and occupational insights. This year's trip took us to Memphis, the home of the blues, for a sampling of the regional flair. We visited Lane College and HBCU.
The birth and growth of Lane College is an exciting chapter in American history. Lane College had its beginning through the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. After the Emancipation Proclamation, founders of the religious organizations realized that they were not educationally prepared to advance as recently freed slaves. Thus, the need to establish schools that supported this cause was formed. During the CME General Conference of 1873, bishops of the CME Church decided to identify sites for potential colleges and universities. After a few years of prayer, planning, and fundraising, the following schools were established: Lane College, Miles College, Payne College, and Texas College. The idea to open a school in Tennessee was presented by Reverend J.K. Daniels under the leadership of Bishop Isaac Lane. Lane College opened its doors on November 12, 1882. Welcome to Lane College.
Learned about what it takes to get into the school, an HBCU that was created in 1882. We want our young men to know what the admissions policies are. We want them to know how to go about getting financial aid. Next, we visited the Martin Luther King Memorial, basically where Dr. King was assassinated, the Lorraine Motel. Many of our young men wrote their reports about Dr. King, and we celebrate his birthday each year, but no one had ever seen where he was assassinated. So we went to the Civil Rights Museum. They got to see his room. They got to see the spot where he was killed. They got to see the window where the rifle was fired. They just learned a great deal. We had two young people who were docents, and they did a great job taking us through the museum and learning about the bus boycott with Rosa Parks and different pieces of history. The King seemed most inspired and curious about this particular time in our nation's history. In the evenings, our young men had gym time, or they stayed in their rooms, or they went to a friend's room. But they had a great time.
This city is home to major moments of civil rights history, and our next stop is one of a kind in Memphis. This is the Slave Haven Underground Railroad Museum.
This was actually a safe house on the Underground Railroad where the enslaved Africans hid in the attic and in the cellar of Jacob Burkle's home.
Jacob Burkle was a German immigrant who fled his home country's oppressive government in the 1850s. Historians believe his entire home was designed to be a safe house on the Underground Railroad.
four-way, Patrice Bates Thompson is part of a legacy that began long before she was even born.
Clint and Irene Cleves started the restaurant, and Mr. Cleves actually was Mayor Crump's personal chauffeur back in the day.
The Cleves Four-Way Grill opened in 1946, attached to a pool hall and barbershop in the heart of Soulsville.
So in a segregated time, this place was never segregated. And that was because of the warm arms of Miss Cleves and Mr. Cleves and the help of Mayor Crump. So it meant a lot for them to be able to come and sit and be able to have fine dining.
The scrumptious food and stellar service quickly attracted high-profile customers. That's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. shooting pool in what is now the Four-Way in the late 60s.
It was an outlet for civil rights activists and leaders to be able to come and regroup and take time to talk and be able to eat in a safe place.
Mr. Cleves died 34 years after opening the Four-Way. His wife kept the restaurant going until 1996, 2 years before she passed away. In 2001, Willie Bates bought the shuttered property.
And it meant a lot to him to continue being successful in this community, helping others to be successful.
Today, the Four-Way is still an important part of the community and the world.
Remember?
It's been featured in rap videos.
Four-Way dishes up everything from greens and beans.
Made Andrew Zimmern's list on the Travel Channel. And the walls and guest book include a who's who of celebrities and patrons from faraway country.
We're here at the legendary Stax Recording Studios, where legends have recorded like Sam Cooke, the Barcades, Otis Redding, all of these artifacts, 2,000 of them right here in this studio.
The 16-hour bus ride up and back was taxing, but the trip to the flashpoint of the civil rights movement made everything worthwhile. We had a great trip. We had no incidents. We took 42 young men and adult chaperones. Everyone had a great time. And I hope that the young men learned. We will do a follow-up survey to see what they learned. And we'll start raising money for next year's trip.